All right. Hello, NFL fans, and welcome. It's been a while since I did a breakdown of the AFC East. I did one, I think, in the first week of the season, kind of gave my predictions, and pretty predictable in terms of who I felt would win the AFC East. I picked the Buffalo Bills. You could check out that video, check that out. But the interesting thing about the AFC East was that I felt that the remaining teams, the other three teams, the Jets, New England, and Miami, they were all in the same boat, and they literally could finish anywhere from 5 wins to 8 or 9 wins, all three of the teams. So I bunched those three teams together because it was hard to tell which team was gonna kind of like show out. I know what the Bills are. I know the Bills, they win at home. They win 80 some odd percent of their games at home, and they dominate the AFC East. So I picked the Bills to finish first. So far, I'm good. But in terms of second place, I had three teams. It was a three-team logjam. But now we're going to talk about, in today's video, which team is kind of like showing out. So let's kind of get to it. So we're looking right at a breakdown of all 32 teams in terms of stopping the run. So I did a video on key indicators, and stopping the run is one of the indicators that we kind of go over. So take a look at this. Out of the AFC East teams, New England Patriots are number 2 at stopping the run. This is very important. They're number 2 at stopping the run. If you look at the 2024 stats, this is from 2024 stats. If you finish in the top 10, 90% of the teams that finished in the top 10, they made the playoffs, if you could see here. So that's why it's important. And surprisingly, the New England Patriots in the AFC East are number 1 at stopping the run. So big up to the Patriots. And I think that's a big advantage if you're able to stop the run. Let's look at, now this is the first 10, right? New England Patriots finished number 2 behind the Cleveland Browns. Let's see where the other teams in the AFC East fall. Let's see if they're in the second tier. Second tier, no teams in the AFC East, which means the other remaining teams are in the bottom tier, which are the New York Jets. They come in at 23rd at 133 yards per game. Miami Dolphins come in at 28 at 145 yards a game. And shockingly, which was pretty shocking, the Buffalo Bills came in. In fact, not only are they last in the AFC East, they're last in the entire NFL, which is pretty shocking. But yet, they're 3-0, and I think they're going to be 4-0 after this week. They got New Orleans coming in. So, big up to, the Bills need to get this fixed in terms of stopping the run. They're last in the AFC East. Not only are they last in the AFC East, they're last in the entire NFL. Pretty shocking. So, if you think about this, the Patriots have the Jets, and they already beat Miami. So I would actually give the Patriots the upper hand here in terms of, the upcoming games against the Jets. And like I said, they already have a win against Miami. So Patriots could be that team. Instead of being at the 5 or 6 wins, they could be at the 8 or 9 wins if the defense keeps performing like this. So this is only one of the defensive indicators that we're kind of reviewing. As you can see here, the Patriots are the leaders in terms of stopping the run. Big up to the Patriots. And then the interesting thing here is you look at the top 10 teams in terms of stopping the run have a winning percentage. They're 20-10, and they have a winning percentage of almost 67%. So this bodes well for the Patriots. And this is a small sample. So, the teams like the Jets, Miami, they can move up, and even the Bills, they can move up in the rankings because, again, this is only a small sample. But 60 yards a game, that's pretty impressive. And even more so, 2.8 yards per attempt. That's not bad. That is not bad. And if you look at the Jets, for example, they're giving up 133 yards a game. It's hard to keep the other offenses off the field. and they're giving up 4 yards a attempt. Miami's at 145, and the Bills are at shockingly 156. And if you finish in the bottom half, goes from 67% to 57%, as you can see here, from the top 10 to the bottom 10. So just something to keep an eye out on. And then finally, we're going to look at points per game, right? So in the AFC East. So yes, the Bills have problems stopping the run, but what they don't have a problem doing, giving up points. They've only given up, in the 3 games so far, 10 points a game. But yet, they score on average 34 points. So that's why they're 3-0. So yes, it's kind of shocking that they finished last in terms of, not being able to stop the run, giving up the most yards. But what matters is points, right? So they score and they're stingy with points. So that's why the Bills are 3-0. And let's take a look here at the Patriots. At the Patriots. They score on average about 20 points a game, but they give up 22. I think 20 points a game is giving up 20 points. I think you got to be able to score in this day and age. You got to be able to at least score, 24. And the Jets, again here, the Jets score 23 points a game, but they give up 31. Again, and that's one of the reasons they are 0-3. And then the Miami Dolphins, they score about 18 points a game and give up 32 points a game. So really, the Jets and the Dolphins are the same. I mean, honestly, if you look at their stats, they're basically the same. And they actually play each other this week. So I am a Jets fan. As you can see here, I'm a Jets fan. The Jets go to Miami this weekend. I think it might be a loss for the Jets. And one of the reasons I say that is, 1, Miami's home. And 2, I think the Patriots caught the Dolphins at the right time. The Patriots got that win. But if you look how the Jets and the Dolphins, they played an opponent in common. That was the Buffalo Bills. The Jets got completely mauled by the Bills. I think the Bills rushed for 224 yards against the Jets. Miami was a lot better. That was a competitive game, and I think there was a crucial penalty. Miami was about to get the ball, and I believe with the lead, and that penalty changed the game. Miami played the Bills tough. The Dolphins played the Bills tough. The Jets did not. So I honestly give the advantage this week to the Miami Dolphins. I believe the Miami Dolphins will defeat the Jets, even though I am a Jet fan. And I believe Justin Fields will be playing this week. It's going to be interesting because with the Jets, it's been a roller coaster, right? You get excited for the first game. They played the Steelers. It was a turnover that turned that game around. Justin Fields played great. They scored points. The offense was behind. They came back and scored. They showed some fight there, so that was good. But one of the biggest problems I had with the Jets is their defense can never hold the lead. They have a problem. Get the lead, can't hold it. The offense scores, we giving up points right away. So that's one of my biggest concerns with the Jets. I believe the Dolphins are going to win. Dolphins have some talent on offense, and you saw that in the Bills game. I think the Jets are going to struggle keeping the Dolphins off the field. But I would love it if the Jets defense finally makes a stand, and if they could stand and get this win against the Dolphins. But if I had to pick, I would go with the Dolphins. In terms of what's going good for each team, I mean, Buffalo, they're 3-0. The schedule is looking good for them. And again, they're tougher opponents later in the year. I think they have a couple of playoff teams, but all those games are at home, and the Bills win 80% of their games at home. So that's good for the Bills. For the Patriots, the run defense is definitely a positive, and that's going to help them going forward. Young quarterback who is learning on the fly, and I think May is very talented. So I think the Patriots got that going for them. The Jets have not lost hope. I mean, I think Justin Fields has shown some flashes, so I think there is some talent there, but is there consistency? And The Jets really, I would love it for them. The way they ran the ball against the Steelers, if they can do that, and Justin Fields can play like he played in the first game, and the way he played against the Bills, that set football back at least 50 years. So the Jets offense has to get it going. And to beat the Dolphins, you got to score points. And what the Dolphins got going for it is the Bills game. They played the Bills. They could have won that game. And I think that's a positive. I think the offense is starting to click. I think the Dolphins still have some talent on the team, and especially on the offensive side of the ball. Coach is on the hot seat, so let's see how they respond. So that is my breakdown of the AFC East. Bills are going to win this thing going away. But what about these three teams? New England, the Jets, and the Dolphins. I believe any of these teams can finish anywhere from 8 to 9 wins. I think that New England's trending in the right direction. But hopefully my Jets can stand up and they can surprise. And if that Miami offense get going, who knows what they can do. So that's my breakdown of the AFC East. We're going to do this on a weekly basis, so please look out for future videos. Please like and subscribe and add your comments. Please comment on if you're a Bills fan, New England fan, Jet fan, or Miami Dolphin fan. Put your comments in there. I appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you guys in the future. Peace.